Most people get Pittsburgh completely wrong, and that's exactly why locals love it. You probably clicked on this video because you've heard mixed things. Maybe you saw an old headline or someone told you it was just an old, cold, still town. I'm Riley Madden, a full-time real estate specialist who has helped hundreds of families make the move to Pittsburgh from all over the country: Texas, California, Florida, DC, Rhode Island, you name it, they are coming. And almost every single one of them said the same exact thing. I had no idea that Pittsburgh was like this. So what do they see that everybody else still misses? That's exactly what I'm going to show you here today. And if you're watching this, you're probably somewhere between curious and skeptical. You're tired of inflated housing markets, endless traffic, and feeling like every city is losing its community. And what you actually want is belonging, space, affordability, and culture that feels real, not curated. And that's what locals here have already, just quietly. So in this video, I'm breaking down what locals know about Pittsburgh that the outsiders don't. The hidden neighborhoods that feel like small towns, the views that you will not see in travel blogs, and the lifestyle secrets that make people stay for decades. But I'm also going to share with you the truth. Not every part of Pittsburgh is perfect, but that is what makes it so livable. Because here's the thing, once you actually see Pittsburgh from a local's eyes, you cannot unsee it. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why the people who move here never leave. And if you're someone who's searching for a place that actually feels like home again, this might just be it. Number one, each neighborhood feels like its own little town. The first thing people realize when they move here is that Pittsburgh isn't just one city. It's actually 90 different neighborhoods, each with its own personality, rhythm, and culture. And that's where most outsiders completely miss the point. I will never forget this couple from California that I worked with. They were used to the massive cookie cutter suburbs where everything looked the same, and every drive took at least 45 minutes. And when they got here, we walked all through the East End touring properties. We saw Shadyside, Squirrel Hill, and Lawrenceville. And I still remember them stopping on Butler Street and thinking, wait, people actually live like this. They couldn't believe there were so many coffee shops, barber shops, murals, families walking to dinner and having so many options to choose from. And just the life of it, they said it was like a living, breathing community that they were just yearning for, not a simulation of one. And it reminded me Pittsburgh is almost like a mosaic. Each neighborhood is like a tile with its own color to it. And when you step back, you realize that's what makes the picture so beautiful. From Mount Lebanon's small town charm to the creative pulse of Shadyside to the riverside calm of Sewickley, there is a place for every person. And most people I talk to, they think they want that perfect city, especially when exploring all of the options in the country. But after talking more, I realized what they really want is connection and community. To walk to your morning coffee shop and be recognized by your barista, to feel known and belong somewhere that remembers your name. That's what these micro neighborhoods do. They give you scale and soul both at the same time. And the funny thing is, when people move here, they usually say, I will just rent for a year to fill it out. But as soon as they find their pocket, they know it and they are ready to buy. They buy, they settle, and they stop scrolling Zillow in other states. Because they finally found what every big city promises but rarely delivers, and that's community. And it's not just the people, the landscape itself has you slowing down and seeing things differently. There's a moment, every Pittsburgher knows it, when you come out of the Fort Pitt tunnels and the skyline just hits you. It's the one view that makes you say, okay, I get it now. The city has a grand entrance that sneaks up on you. And number two is the secret scenic spots that outsiders rarely see. You could scroll through hundreds of photos of Pittsburgh online and still have no idea what it actually feels like to be here in person. Because what people don't tell you is that Pittsburgh's beauty doesn't announce itself, but it does sneak up on you. Kind of like the Fort Pitt Tunnel view. It's the city where the most breathtaking views show up right after the ugliest, darkest tunnels. Speaking of the Fort Pitt Tunnel, I remember driving through with clients who were here from out of state. It was actually their first time ever in Pittsburgh. They were in mid-conversation talking about the commute and cost of living when suddenly the tunnel opened up and the entire skyline basically exploded in front of us. The rivers, the bridges, the reflection of golden light on the glass buildings, and they almost just went silent. And the wife said, "This is not what I imagined at all," and she was pretty much in awe and wanted to explore downtown and just every city neighborhood after that. And that's what I mean when I say outsiders get Pittsburgh wrong. People picture a dark industrial skyline when in reality the city looks like someone took the best parts of Seattle, Austin, and a mountain town and tucked it in between 3 rivers. It's not a city that shows off, but it's a city that reveals itself. It's like a person that doesn't say much in a room, but when they do speak, you realize they are the most interesting person in this room. And here's the crazy part is that same skyline moment hits people every single time. It's why locals still post the same pictures from Mount Washington or the West End overlook. Not because they haven't seen it before, but because it means something to them. When you live here, you don't get numb to it, you actually slow down for it. And that says everything about the kind of life that people find here. Not louder, not faster, but just real and authentic. And it's not just those few views. There are hidden spots all over the city, like Emerald View Park, the quiet banks along the North Shore, or the beautiful trails that wind through Frick Park. Locals use these spaces as therapy, to think, to breathe, and to reset. I've had people tell me this is the first time I've felt like myself in years. The city has so much nature, so much character, and so much quietness to it. I'm actually able to go into these areas and just reset, spend some time in nature, which is super soothing, especially Pittsburgh nature, all of the beautiful parks within the city, and really just have that quiet, creative space to let your brain wander, think, and really connect with yourself and nature. And that's what most relocation videos never talk about, the emotional return on investment you get from living in a place. In a world where most cities scream for attention, Pittsburgh whispers. It doesn't need to convince you, it just shows up quietly with substance. And that's the energy people are craving so much right now. They are exhausted from the hype. They just want something real. But what really makes people stay here isn't just what they see, it's what they taste. Because once you sit down for a meal in Pittsburgh, whether it's pierogies in Polish Hill or brunch in Lawrenceville, you start to realize that Pittsburgh has its own flavor of comfort. And that brings us next to the reason why locals love this city. That tells its story way better than any travel guide can. Let's talk about the food culture. You could learn a lot about a city by the way it eats. And in Pittsburgh, food isn't just something that we consume. It's something that connects us. It's a mirror of who we are. Blue-collared roots, world-class creativity, and a little bit of rebellion on every plate. I still remember walking through the Strip District early on a Saturday morning. The smell of coffee, fresh bread, and pancakes. The sound of vendors shouting good deals, chicken on a stick all over the place, and families grabbing pierogies for breakfast. It's chaos, but it's the good kind. And that's Pittsburgh in a nutshell. It's not polished, but it is personal. It's kind of like your grandmother's kitchen. A little messy, always warm, and everybody's welcome. Outsiders always assume that cities with great food are flashy. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. But in Pittsburgh, the magic isn't in Michelin stars, it's in moments. It's your neighbor handing you halushki at a block party. It's the bartender who remembers your name and your drink. It's that small Italian spot that is amazing where the owner asks you how your family's doing. Here, food isn't about status, it's about authentic roots and connection. And if we're talking strictly about taste, there is exceptional fine dining places, but I feel like everybody loves the staples here. Pamela's Brunch, Gariselli's, and the pizza spots that are hard to beat like Minio's and Aioli's. And every meal tells you a story about someone who stayed. The Polish families who brought their recipes generations ago. The new chefs reimagining comfort food without losing its roots. You don't just eat here, but you belong here. Lawrenceville's brunch scene feels like Brooklyn, but the prices don't. Shadyside's date night restaurants are absolutely charming. Downtown gives you the best views with the best plate, especially taking a look at Mount Washington, where you get the full skyline view with some of the best restaurants in the city. And if you're craving nostalgia, head to Pierogi Fest, where you will see 3 generations cooking side by side. It's not about impressing you, it's about including you in. And people think you always move to a new city for an opportunity. But the truth is, people stay in Pittsburgh because of how it makes them feel. When you walk into your favorite bakery and the owner knows your name, that's when a city stops being a destination and it starts being home. But here's the funny thing about Pittsburgh. Even with all of this warmth and connection, people are still shocked at how much value they could get here. And that brings us to another reason the locals never leave: the insane affordability and lifestyle balance. It does not feel real until you actually see the numbers. Do you ever notice how every major city promises a great lifestyle right before they take over 60% of your paycheck for living? Pittsburgh basically flips that equation. Here, the quality of life actually matches what you pay for it. And that's why locals guard it like a secret. I've helped dozens of families move here from areas like Chicago, Seattle, New York. And the first thing they say is, wait, that is all it costs? Median home prices here are around $250,000. Now, of course, that is medium, and if you're looking in some of the more upscale city neighborhoods and some of the very nice suburbs, then you might be looking at more of a realistic medium of around $400,000. Still, this is comparing to over $700,000 to $800,000 in many other cities. The difference isn't just saving you money, but it's actually giving you freedom. Freedom to build, freedom to buy instead of renting your life away. And most people think affordability means compromise. Smaller houses, lower quality, and fewer options. But here it means you actually get more. You could live 20 minutes from downtown and still have massive trees, privacy, trails, a yard, and a view. You could work in tech, medicine, or education and still make it home in plenty of time for dinner. One of my clients from California texted me a photo a few months ago, and this was actually a few months after they moved in as well. And the kids were actually roasting marshmallows in their fire in their backyard. She texted me and said we couldn't even have afforded a balcony where we lived before. And that's the magic of Pittsburgh. It gives people their lives back, the moments that they cherish the most, the privacy, the extra space, and the options that come along with that. There's nothing like seeing a family happy and thriving in a suburb that matches everything that they dreamed about for prices that do not break the bank. And locals know it, and that's why they are quiet about it. They do not want the secret getting out. Because once you understand what it's like to have city access, community, and financial breathing room, it is really hard to go back. Now, don't get me wrong, Pittsburgh isn't cheap, but it is fair. You still have premium neighborhoods, incredible schools all over the country for, and high value markets. But unlike other cities, you actually feel the return on what you spend, whether that's time, energy, or money. And that balance between affordability and access is exactly what allows people here to build real roots. Because once you're not just surviving, but you're thriving, that's where the real neighbor first culture comes in. It's a kind of place where people don't just live next to each other, they look out for each other. And that takes us to number 5, the neighbor first culture that makes moving here easy. You could buy a house anywhere, but finding a community, that is the rare part. And it's exactly why the people move to Pittsburgh usually stay. A couple I worked with moved here from Florida just last year, and it was winter of last year, and no kidding, the first week that they moved here, a neighbor showed up with a crock pot full of soup and basically welcomed them to the neighborhood and said, you are going to need this here because it gets cold. And on the first snowfall of the season, the same neighbor came over and helped them shovel their first snowstorm that they've experienced in Pittsburgh. And they told me that's when we realized we didn't just move to a city, but we basically joined a family. They feel more at home here than they ever did in Florida. And that's what's funny is most people expect the city life to feel anonymous. Tall buildings, locked doors, and neighbors you probably will never meet. And if you do, they might shrug a shoulder at you. But Pittsburgh literally completely flips that script. It's more front porch than penthouse. It's a place where people still borrow sugar, block parties still happen, and everyone knows who owns that dog that keeps escaping the yard. It's a sense of familiarity that does something powerful to people. It lowers their guard. You stop wondering if you fit in and you realize you already do. That's when fear disappears and roots start to build. And I've seen it over and over again. People who thought they were moving for a job or a cheaper cost of living, but end up staying because of the people. That neighbor first mentality is not just a slogan here, it is baked into the DNA. If most cities are like concrete, hard, cold, and built to last, Pittsburgh is like brick. Still strong, but warm, imperfect, and human. Each person is like another brick holding the next one up. That's what makes it unshakable, the people who hold each other together. And that's what no marketing campaign can create for any other city. Real community, you can't just build it overnight, you cannot fake it. But once you've experienced it, it's hard to go anywhere else. And it's literally built into the streets of the city. Because from the way Pittsburgh's designed, from its hills and bridges, actually forces people to interact. Which takes us to the next reason that locals love it. Number 6, the city layout and the rhythm that makes life feel human. Most cities were built for cars, but Pittsburgh was built for people. It just pretends to be built for cars. Between the rivers, the bridges, the hills, the city has a rhythm that forces you to slow down and look up. Outsiders love to joke about how confusing Pittsburgh streets are. And honestly, I like to joke about it too. How your GPS might give up halfway up a hill and you might be making the wrong merge. It's going to add another 20 minutes to your time. But honestly, there's some good that could come out of this. A hidden conversation, a coffee shop that you didn't even know was there. And I've discovered a lot from making wrong turns. And that's kind of why the rhythm of life feels different here. You might take the long way home, not because it's faster, but because it's beautiful and you're going to pass your favorite cafe. The skyline changes with every bridge you cross, and suddenly the ordinary feels sacred. It's the opposite of what you get in sprawling cities, where efficiency kills experience. In Pittsburgh, the city layout creates micro moments of joy. You walk more, you talk more, and you notice more. It's like living in a small story compared to rushing a big one. And it's really not just me saying this. I've watched hundreds of people who moved here literally transform. Within months, they slow down, they start exploring, they find favorite routes and favorite places to stop. And that's what a livable city does. It doesn't trap you, it frees you. And if this at all sounds interesting and you want to learn more about Pittsburgh, this is what we help people with every single day, is breaking down the neighborhoods for them, breaking down their relocation plan, and helping them find the best neighborhood and best house for them and their family. From suburbs to city neighborhoods, we cover the whole entire Pittsburgh metro. My family's been in the actual construction, home improvements, roofing business for over 35 years, plus investments here. And we've been relocating people here every single day for over 6.5 years. And it's what I do best. I absolutely love it. So if you are planning a move here to Pittsburgh, our contact information is up here on the screen, always down in that description below. Feel free to reach out to me anytime, call, text, email, DM. I am always here and super excited to hear from all of you guys who are relocating and purchasing homes here in Pittsburgh. So in the next part, let's talk about the kind of opportunity the city creates and how it's quietly becoming one of the best places to build a life and a business at the same time. Everyone knows Pittsburgh was the Steel City. What people don't realize is it's actually becoming the startup city. The same grit that built America's steel industry is now powering innovation in tech, AI, robotics, and healthcare. I've worked with doctors from UPMC, engineers from Google's Pittsburgh office, and small business owners who've left the corporate thing to start their own business here. And all of them said Pittsburgh makes it possible because this is one of the few cities where ambition isn't crushed by overhead. Most people think opportunity only exists in expensive zip codes: New York, LA, and San Francisco. But Pittsburgh is proving the opposite. Over the past decade, tech jobs here have grown by over 20%. And Carnegie Mellon and Pitt are feeding the talent directly into these startups. Plus, innovation hubs that are transforming old warehouses into new ideas. One of my clients moved here from Boston, and he worked in remote software. He said he used to feel like a small fish in a massive ocean, but now things have completely shifted. And that's what Pittsburgh gives you: the ability to matter, stand out, and do your own thing. And most people still have no idea. They're chasing dreams in crowded cities. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh is over here attracting founders, creatives, and families who want to build real lives and not just resumes. I see it every single week. Young entrepreneurs buying their first homes, remote workers moving here for balance, and even retirees starting passion projects. It's not a trend, it's a movement. And it's happening quietly, the way every great story begins. Number 8 is the sense of purpose that keeps people rooted. Every great city gives people opportunity, but only a few give people purpose. And that's what Pittsburgh does. It reminds you that your work, your story, and your family all mean something here. I remember me and my client met a man in Bloomfield as we were seeing the neighboring house to tour. He lived in that same brick house for over 47 years. And my client asked him, "Have you ever thought about leaving?" He smiled and said, "Why would I? Everything I've ever built is right here. My kids, my garden, my Sunday dinners." It made us both smile because he didn't just live in Pittsburgh, but he belonged to it. And that's why people move here. They stop chasing the temporary highs, and instead they start thinking long term. They start investing not just in real estate, but in relationships. Pittsburgh doesn't sell you a fantasy life, but it gives you the ability to build one, a real one that matters 50 years from now. And the crazy part is, even with all of this, the beauty, the opportunity, the purpose, the affordability, Pittsburgh still is flying under the radar. Which means if you're seeing this video right now, you are early. And in the next section, I'll show you why this is the exact position that you are lucky to be in before the rest of the world finally catches on, like they do in every other city. Number 9 is why you're still early. Every few years, there's that one city that quietly transforms while the rest of the world is not paying attention. Austin had its moment, Nashville had its moment, and right now, Pittsburgh is standing on that same edge, just before the world realizes what's actually happening. I see it firsthand every day as a real estate agent. Homes that used to sit on the market for months are selling in days. People are relocating from California, Texas, New York, and Florida. And it's because they see what the locals have always known. It is undervalued, not just in price, but in potential. Pittsburgh ranks among the top cities for remote workers, tech expansion, and job stability. Yet it has one of the most affordable cost of living indexes in the world. That combination, opportunity plus affordability, does not stay a secret for long. And once people catch on, the story changes. One of my clients told me something that really stuck with me. They said, "We didn't just move to Pittsburgh because it's cheaper, but we really feel like it's the beginning of something." And that's exactly it. The city is gleaming with pre-boom energy. The same feeling Austin had before the tech took over, or Denver before it exploded. You could still walk down the street and see potential in every corner, not just the price tags. In timing a move, it's a lot like the stock market. No one wants to be too early, but being too late is what cost you. The truth is, you don't need to be first. You just need to be early enough to choose where you want to be before the world chooses it for you. And that is what this moment is. Your chance to see Pittsburgh before the rest of the world starts calling it the next Austin. Because once everyone's talking about it, that's when the magic changes. Right now, you still get to experience the city as it is. Authentic, local, and unspoiled. 5 years from now, people will look back at this exact time in 2025. And they're gonna say, I wish I would have seen it then. But you did. You're seeing it now. And that awareness, that curiosity might be the thing that changes everything for you. It's not just about investing in a city, but it's investing in your story. Because the next few years in Pittsburgh aren't just going to shape the skyline, they're going to shape the people that choose to be a part of it. When I started this video, I said most people get Pittsburgh wrong. They think it's gray, they think it's old, and they think it's forgotten. But now you see what I see. A city that's alive, layered, and full of purpose. A city that's not trying to be the next anything, but it's quietly becoming everything that people want. Because the truth is, cities don't define people, people define cities. And if you ever decide to make Pittsburgh your home, you won't just live in one of America's most underrated cities. You'll help write its next chapter. So if this video opened your eyes to see a different Pittsburgh, then share it with someone who needs it. And if you're thinking about making the move to Pittsburgh, our contact information is up here on the screen, always in that description below. Me and my family eat, sleep, and breathe real estate in Pittsburgh, from every part of the process to nailing down the neighborhoods with the best appreciation potential to the best school districts and the best commute for your work. That's what our relocation call could really help with. Please reach out anytime. We absolutely love hearing from you guys and nailing you to the perfect relocation plan one-on-one once we get to hear more about your needs, how we could directly help locate you to that perfect property. You tell us a few things. We know the street, we know the house, and we know the neighbors that you're going to see there. Feel free to reach out, and if you want to learn everything else about Pittsburgh, our different neighborhoods, actual neighborhood tours, relocation tips, housing market information, and changes actually happening in Pittsburgh, like new developments, AI, and what's happening next, you could start by watching our next videos here. And we will see you there.